ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood is calling for a $600,000 Bitcoin base case, which is incredibly bullish, as well as $25 trillion to flow into Bitcoin as well as crypto between now and 2030. We do have a lot to cover. Some analysts are talking about a $45,000 Bitcoin or $40,000, $40,000 to $45,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. We'll jump into that. I do have a couple of videos to show you, so we'll get into these straight away. First one's 47 seconds. We'll play this, we'll break it down. Let's go.
This is a global, anyone owning Bitcoin knows this is global. This is not just a U.S. opportunity, and it's big. And, you know, if you look at both Ether.
We just need to play that again. Listen to what she has to say. It's big. It's a global opportunity.
This is not just a U.S. opportunity, and it's big.
Not just for the U.S.
And, you know, if you look at both Ether and Bitcoin, our expectation is, well, that the crypto asset ecosystem will be dominated by those two, and that it is going.
That'll be dominated by Bitcoin. Let's be very clear on that. Yesterday we talked about, and I put a post up on Twitter, if you're for Ethereum, you are against freedom. Anyway, let's
going to scale from a little more than $1 trillion today to $25 trillion in 2030 as this new world builds out. This is almost, I mean, I was at the beginning of the internet. Not really, that was DARPA and everything, but as we were studying it in the market in the 90s, this feels like that again. It is a very big idea. This is a global.
When she was talking about the internet, and Cathie Wood is this lady's name. When Cathie Wood was talking about DARPA and the internet and stuff, you can tell that she's very high functioning, maybe a little bit autistic. And that's why this lady has been so successful. She can see things at such a high level. She's operating maybe a little bit on the spectrum. I believe we're all on the spectrum. It's just at what degree. Anyway, public service announcement over. Let's get into further what Cathie Wood has to say. This is on CNBC's Squawk Box.
A showstopper.
We did play this video the other day, but it is important to take note of the messaging that she's putting out there. She's got some very good points, and people are starting to wake up to the fact. We'll get into the 45K end of year. We can talk about a $600,000 price prediction.
At least from Gary Gensler's point of view, is he thinks Bitcoin can be manipulated. And, you know, this is a decentralized, transparent network. You can follow all the activity online. It's highly unlikely.
Well, it had to be that because he understands, Cathie. He's got enough, not many people do, a lot of people don't have enough knowledge about how it works to make an informed decision about Bitcoin. He taught at MIT so he understands that it's not a Ponzi scheme or a Beanie Baby. Right. So there has to be something else.
Well, I don't know what it is. I have wondered. There's speculation that he's interested in the Treasury Secretary position at some point. What does the Treasury Secretary do?
Protecting fiat for the government? I mean,
we do talk about Gary getting paid to delay, and this could also be the agenda here as well, ladies and gentlemen.
Very focused on. I don't know. I don't understand it myself because.
That's good. One more clip, and then we'll jump into an article. This one was posted by Simply Bitcoin here. ARK Invest founder and CEO Cathie Wood in a recent interview with Yahoo Finances, Bitcoin is the monetary system.
Monetary policy around the world is unhinged. It's not hinged to anything except human decision-making. And this is going to put discipline, rigor, back into these particular products you're talking about. Well, Bitcoin is, the monetary system is Bitcoin.
The monetary system is Bitcoin. Absolutely fantastic word. So Cathie Wood explains why crypto markets will explode to 25 trillion in 2030. The price ramifications for the crypto market as institutions increasingly enter the space. A couple of things I want to point out here. So ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood outlined her expectations for the crypto market as US regulations become more clear and financial institutions begin to adopt the asset class. Anyone owning Bitcoin now knows this is global. This is not just a US opportunity, and it's big. It's going to scale from a little more than 1 trillion today to 25 trillion in 2030 as this new world builds out. Cathie Wood here is talking about the whole crypto ecosystem as well. Obviously, that's going to incorporate stablecoins, which are going to make up a large part, but it is going to be dominated. The dominator is Bitcoin. It's the one that's going to lead to freedom, owned and self-custody. So growing interest from Wall Street firms in offering digital assets to their clients is a primary reason she is enthusiastic about a forthcoming price surge, particularly the application for the BlackRock to offer a spot Bitcoin ETF with leading crypto exchange Coinbase as its custodian. I think this regulatory breakdown is very important to bring institutions online effectively, and I think BlackRock and Coinbase partnership is going to be very important. Couple more things. This feels like the early internet. Again, it's a very big idea. Would note this is a new asset class. It's a source of diversification, and we would add it's a hedge. If you're talking about Bitcoin in particular, hedge against both inflation and deflation. Huge words. Now, Natalie Brunel just posted this like 20 minutes ago, 5:25, 40 minutes ago. It's been a busy, quick morning here. I'll play it quickly, 30 seconds. Presidential candidate RFK on Bitcoin. It's amazing how mainstream Bitcoin is getting.
You know, I'll do whatever I need to do to maintain custody, to maintain that people's wallets remain in there. You know, that just like your keys to your car, like your personal wallet, you ought to be able to hold on to that and to do as much as I can to make sure that people control their own nodes and that there's freedom. You know, there's total for as much freedom as makes sense.
There we go. That's another good sign as well. Obviously, we did talk about Vivek yesterday, so you can go back, you can hit that episode up there. FOMO 21, it's not just shirts for men, it is shirts for ladies as well. So the Bitcoin Barbie FOMO 21, you can be anything. There is a 10% discount code below for you. Where we are in space, local time 6:13 a.m., a little bit late. Price 969. There we go. That 69, the infamous number. Sats per dollar 2,780. It's like it changed just to be perfect. So the block height 817,062. If you are there in the comments, the comment section hasn't come back up on my dashboard today. If you can smash us a thumbs up and say hello in the normal comment section, I will get back to everyone that drops a comment. Average block time, 10 minutes and 10 seconds, pretty much spot on. So there is the mempool is backed up quite a lot at the moment, but it hasn't not mined any blocks in the last 24 hours. Last block reward, absolutely massive. 8.2537 fees made up 2 Bitcoin, 24%. The whole market is red. I did buy this morning. I buy in red days. You need to do you. I will do me. But I do it because it dropped like $1,500 or $1,700. We can dive into the change in the last 24 hours. And I never fear red days. I get excited for them. I look forward to them because we are going to have $10,000 days coming up. Orange Pill app, the merchant. So anyone owning a business in the chat here, the merchants waiting list is officially live. If you accept Bitcoin in your store or business, we're building something for you. Join us here. Bitcoin accepted here. I've got a link in the description for them and you can find me there under my name. Natalie Brunel. So this is in Vivek. I'm not going to play it here, but I did repost it this morning. My view on the promise of Bitcoin is deeper than that. It is an opt-out from the broken financial architecture created by the US Federal Reserve System. Today, Vivek announces an official crypto policy framework at the NAB summit there. We've got a couple of things to touch on about it. I am going to play this video. This is a meme video. It's not related to Bitcoin, but it was created by the Toxic Malinformer, or is posted by the Toxic Malinformer. This video here, it's fun. Answer the question. Do you think he is... I've been really good with not swearing, but do you think he is effing fine, in his words? Let us know. And entertaining. I thought that was a little bit of fun this morning. Serious, not serious. And then Elon Musk. This is full on going into the conspiracy, the tinfoil hat rabbit hole. But this is full on. Some of these conspiracy theories. I will link this back to Bitcoin. There is a point in showing you this conspiracy mental masturbation, I guess. I don't know if you like it or not. I find it quite interesting. I went down this rabbit hole very early at a young age, probably about 13, 14, started reading David Icke. Very eye-opening experience there, and that sends you in a whole myriad of directions. It turned out to be true.
Which ones? The Trump-Russia witch hunt, Jeffrey Epstein, JFK assassination, the misuse of the Patriot Act.
So I don't know if it's got copyright music on there with that, but I'll just hit pause. Get rid of the sound. The Iraq War, weapons of mass destruction, war in Ukraine, bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, open border, migration caravans, climate change, chemtrails, HARP, 9/11 being an inside job, Internet of Things surveillance group, chemicals in the water turning everyone gay, the 2020 election being stolen, January 6 being filed with undercover feds, Bilderberg, Bohemian Grove, global government, not to mention gain-of-function research, threat of China collapsing birth rates, defund the police, George Soros, mail-in ballots, big tech censorship. I need to pause that. I'm running out of breath. Let's go again. Obama birth certificate and probably some others I can't think of. So a few of them. Why is that important to Bitcoin? Because there's so much disinformation out there. The lies, the misinformation, the propaganda by the financial elite, the financial parasitic class, that Bitcoin is a scam. We've obviously seen continually what Elizabeth Warren is doing. People are starting to fight back. We have the presidential candidates, Vivek, RFK, old mate, DeSantis, yes, I got his name this morning, all being pro-Bitcoin, bringing awareness of the revolution here, and then on mainstream media, more and more and more, we are getting Bitcoiners going out there spreading the word. Which is fantastic. This is interesting. I won't play it, but Biden has advised the scream at the press to leave after Xi's statement. So Xi put up or said with that, what was Xi's statement? Basically that we won't go to war with you, like let's just chill. So Xi Jinping stated that a potential conflict between China and the United States would bring unbearable consequences for both sides. Definitely, sorry, I haven't brought it up. Definitely a warning there. If you mess with us, it will bring unbearable consequences for both of us, for both sides, and the world is vast enough for the prosperity of both countries. A couple of people are saying, get ready, we will take Taiwan and you can do jack shit about it. It's pretty interesting, this US-China, the global superpowers going head to head. My opinion, and I believe probably a lot of people feel the same, is the world is vast enough for this prosperity of both countries here. If we could just chill, but I guess war is profitable, so it's going to continue to keep happening. Do we just keep getting these little proxy wars? Who knows? Hopefully that's as bad as it is. And I just spilt tea. So it can only get better from here because it always gets better. So market cap today is down 0.5% to $1.44 trillion. Bitcoin, make sure that price is current. 35,795. It has fallen quite dramatically. Actually, nearly $2,200 in the last 24 hours. So we had a high of 37,904 and a low of 35,579, which we're pretty much at right now. Either way, I bought and I chill. Maybe I might buy a little bit more. We'll see. It's It's a good day. I understand these days don't always feel the best, especially if you bought yesterday and then you're here today. You're like, my gosh, that absolutely sucks. But we need to remember long-term what's happening. Cathie Wood is calling for a $600,000 Bitcoin base case. And she's starting to talk about a 1.5 million, $600,000 and $1.5 million Bitcoin. I was going to say $1.5 billion Bitcoin. It's Peter Dunworth that's talking about the $7 billion Bitcoin. I actually did a video with him. I'll bring it up for you and just show you. It's a view your channel. It's going to play Natalie's video usually straight away. Interesting. Maybe that's on the home screen. Because it's me, there should be a pinned video there with Natalie Brunel. There's a really good video. Eating balls for breakfast. That's a fun one there. Alex Svetsky. It's actually, I have these waiting here. This is the Bitcoin Times. I'll get them on the show and unpack them. I'm very excited to do that. But I just want to show you Greg Foss talking about BlackRock. It's a good video if you haven't seen it. But Peter Dunworth here, this video, $7 billion Bitcoin. This is a really good video. Yes, it's a little bit of mental masturbation. I get that. In my opinion, Peter's dead set on it. And he lays out a great hypothesis argument for it, why it's possible and why it can happen there. But we will see. I know a lot of people are watching this morning. I will see if I can get this chat back up. Let's see. I'll restart it. No, it's not doing nothing. Anyway, that's a good video. That's the point of that, is to send it out. So people are expecting that Bitcoin does some extraordinary things this cycle. And maybe not $7 billion this cycle. It definitely depends. Fiat needs to crash for that to be a possibility. But 600,000, 250,000, 100,000, I haven't given out what I think the price will be. Not sure if I ever will or not. I definitely think it's going to be a lot higher now. But I will read out what other people have to say. Market analysts, Bitcoin could reach 45K by the end of the year, analysts say. Options market positioning and dovish Fed expectations indicate the path of least resistance is on the higher side. Just if you can do me one favor, everyone that is watching that hasn't hit subscribe, if we vibe, go ahead, push that little red button. I will give you the news with the fast facts, and do it because you're awesome. Anyway, let's jump into this. So Bitcoin will reach 40,000, if not even 45,000 by year's end. We'll just wake up one day and it'll be 40, 45,000, and it's going to stuff around where it is at the moment. We'll get into it. I just want to go back to this chart. Maybe I closed it there. In the last month, from 27,000 up to 27,500, roughly up to 37,500. That's $10,000 in 1 month. It can absolutely just pump, and we haven't seen anything. When we get God candle after God candle after God candle, it is going to melt faces, as they say. So Bitcoin reached 40, 45,000 by year's end, if not before. Definitely, if we do get another pause, still a 99.7% chance that we do get a pause. I reckon it's going to drop down, what did I say, 96.4% the other day, or 94.6%. But it's going to be, you know, sort of hovering around 95%, I reckon, as we get closer. We're still like 26 days, nearly 27 days away. So side and options market position and dovish Fed expectations as catalyst for continued price gains. The cryptocurrency has more than doubled this year, with prices rising nearly 40% in the past 4 weeks alone. It's been pretty cool, hey? We have two colossal option expiries on November 24, December 29. It's pretty interesting around Christmas time. If you have been here for a Santa Claus rally, it's wild, like absolutely wild. It's just like, it's like a ramjet, like it just goes faster and faster and faster. Reason I have ramjets in my mind is because when I was in the States, which is absolutely amazing country, my favourite country in the world, aside from Australia, you just have so much more there. We have very little forest. It's very dry outside. Looking at the reef is nice and the water's very blue, very flat today, but we've got a total fire ban happening at the moment. Everywhere has browned off. And when you see those photos of Australia and it's like desert and stuff everywhere, I live on the coast. Most Australians live on the coast, so it's not quite like that. But at the moment, like, it's hot. Like, it is truly hot. It's melting faces, it's melting trees, it's melting grass. It's going to probably start melting steel. It's that bloody hot at the moment, and we're not at summer yet. So anyway, what I was talking about with the ramjet, when I was there, I went to an aviation museum, World War I, World War II, to film this Bitcoin documentary that should be coming out probably next week. And it's just sort of like a little short film to be able to hand to friends and family, goes through the history of money, especially focusing on what happened with World War I, World War II. They had some German aircraft like hanging up and stuff, concept designs, a lot of ramjet type things. Absolutely amazing. No way to land these things. They were basically kamikaze style. But that's what happens with Bitcoin, faster and faster and faster, and nobody expects it, and then it hits you. So the closer we get to 40K, the more people have to buy Bitcoin to hedge themselves. Better go back one step. There are 85% more calls outstanding than puts, with the 40,000 strikes having the most significant open interest. The closer we get to 40K, the more people have to buy Bitcoin to hedge themselves. And then we get a short squeeze and bang, we're off to the races. There will be a broad interest in pushing prices to this 40K level. The odds are high that we reach this level. Absolutely. We had a look at that. Ramaswamy shares crypto plan. Natalie Brunel had Vivek on as well. Absolutely amazing. I reposted that video yesterday for you all at Sean Clark 911 on Twitter. And I also posted the insidious Nikki Haley. I don't like her. And Nikki Haley, my name's Sean. She's scared of people using pseudonyms because they're not going to say nice things about her or the government. But when you have Bitcoin and you opt out, it's all good. You do need to hold it in self-custody though, and back it up on steel for sure. Minimum requirements there. Ramaswamy shares crypto plan, making him the only GOP candidate who has one so far. Because he's got one, game theory in action, they're probably going to come out. RFK DeSantis, the 2024 US presidential candidate, would fire most of the SEC, good riddance. Direct the government to back off crypto software developers and ease the path to digital assets as commodities. Absolutely fantastic. Until it happens, it has not happened. Obviously, he needs to be elected president. I'd quite like to see Vivek, a young, very driven, purposeful man, go about. He understands money, obviously, because he talks about Bitcoin. He understands businesses. He understands big pharma and how destructive they are. I like him. And he is the author of Woke Inc. as well. So presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy has revealed a crypto plan that aims to protect core aspects of the industry, including software developers and unhosted digital wallets. He says he wants to shrink the federal government dramatically and steer crypto on a clear regulatory structure that generally considers tokens to be commodities. One issue that separates him from other candidates is an enthusiastic support of crypto as a financial innovation. He argues that the sector needs several freedoms protected. The right to code is a First Amendment freedom that should shield software developers from criminal or enforcement vulnerability. The right to maintain self-hosted digital wallets outside the reach of regulators, and the right to know how each new virtual asset will be treated by the government. Sounds fair. I like it. Absolutely like it. I figured out a way to be able to see your comments, so we'll jump through this couple more articles and then I will jump into the comments. If you have any questions, let us know. And then we can get on with the day, hey? Singapore is looking to control the minds and the money of the people. No surprise there. It is happening absolutely everywhere around the world. Your only option now, ladies and gentlemen, is Bitcoin. Join that peaceful revolution that is happening right now that we are all here for. Share it with friends and family. Give them the book, Bitcoin Evangelism, Beers for Bitcoin, the Fiat Standard, the Bitcoin standard, principles of economics, broken money. Just read as much as possible. Listen to podcasts. Obviously, you're doing the right thing. You're here now. You'll see some links in the description for Amazon for books. I get a little bit of a kickback. Use it or don't use it. Read the books. Otherwise, you're going to eat the bugs. So the trials are part of a broader initiative to set up infrastructure for digital money transfers, including tokenization of banking assets. One thing I want to say on that, if you are illiterate, you can't read, that's all good. Audible is absolutely amazing. And reach out to me on Twitter. I can give you a million book recommendations, both Bitcoin related and not. At the moment, I'm like halfway through Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged, absolutely incredible. Listening to that on Audible. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it really brings the book alive, absolutely brings it alive. And it's a book for Bitcoiners, Atlas Shrugged, 100%. It's not a Bitcoin book, but it is a Bitcoin book. Absolutely phenomenal. When I say I'm halfway through, there's still like 45 hours left or 35 hours left or something. Huge book, absolutely amazing. Great Audible experience. One of the best series of books, and go at me at the comments, that's cool, that I listen to with my wife. And we just, every weekend, we just jump in the spa and we just get the little speaker out there and we'd sit on like the little coffee table and we'd play Harry Potter. And we went through the series of that. And it was just so nice to be able to have that story and go on that journey together. Way better than the movies, better than reading the books. Having Harry Potter read out, the guy, the narrator for it, absolutely amazing. Fantastic. So I understand that's a little bit nerdy, but that's another good Audible experience for everyone. Anyway, back to Bitcoin. The reason why I bring these things up is because you don't need to read books, but listen to the podcast, or I would suggest reading the books if you have the capacity. People have worked their whole lives or focused thousands of hours and they've distilled it down into a sword blade to that sharp edge, living on the edge to that point, and they just give it to you in a pretty little package. So the amount of time to be able to write that book, to be able to research that book, absolutely extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary to be able to do something like that. Thousands of hours condensed down, may take you 10 hours to read, maybe a little bit more with a book of that size. It's one of the greatest things, otherwise Audible. And these guys, I've had that author, I've had both these authors actually, Brian Dement and Daz B, on the channel. Listen to what they have to say in podcast form. So, Mass Firth, CBDCs, Sinister. This is probably what put me onto the tangent of reading, because we need to be able to set the mind free. And then when we learn about sound money, which is everyone here is doing, you wake up to the fact that the dollar ain't shit and we're taxed no end. And then when they bring out these CBDCs, it controls every part of our life. They can switch them on, switch them off. We're obviously seeing tests, as my belief, in Australia, where they do just shut down the whole mobile network. Maybe it was a test, maybe it wasn't. I'm for the tinfoil hat on that. So, Matt's first wholesale CBDC pilot will settle retail payments between commercial banks, while future tests could look at cross-border settlements. Singapore already been exploring CBDCs for wholesale use. At the same time, countries have been given the go-ahead by international organisations, the insidious IMF, to prepare legislation and infrastructure, the BIS, for issuing digital versions of fiat currency to stay on top of payment innovation. Some countries also view CBDCs as an answer to private crypto, with Managing Director Ravi Menon calling cryptocurrencies a failure on Thursday. A failure. I'm going to talk in favour of all of crypto for a sec. And please excuse me, I don't care about crypto, but a failure. The market cap is $1.42 trillion. Tether here's market cap, $87 billion. Ethereum, which is crypto, has zero value in my opinion. It's got a market cap of $236 billion. And then Bitcoin, $700 billion. I don't think that's a failure. I think that is winning in the peaceful revolution. As Cathie Wood said, just a little over we're over 1 trillion. We're at 1.42 at the moment. We're going to head to 25 trillion in the next couple of years. Strap on. They are scared. They're using words to be able to, that's how they do propaganda. They just keep saying it over and over and over and over and over again. It's like an ad. You need to hear it 7 to 9 times before it sinks into your brain and you start to take notice of it. They'll just keep putting out their misinformation, steer people in the right direction. Probably while they're stacking Bitcoin themselves. That would be my thoughts. Anyway, so some countries also view CBDCs as the answer to be able to control everyone. You can join the peaceful revolution. You can opt out. It's not financial advice. I need to change this not financial advice button to study Bitcoin. That's all you need to do. Because when you go down that rabbit hole, you understand that there is a better option. You understand the world's scarcest asset ever to be created, the world's hardest form of money to ever be created. It was engineered to be the hardest form of money. And over the last 14 years, they've kept stacking on top of it, and we've got everything that we need to do for mass adoption. This cycle is going to be absolutely insane. We do have regulatory clarity with Bitcoin. We are going to get, as soon as that ETF is approved, maybe once it's approved, we may sell off. But once we start trading and going into it, it's going to start ramping up. Depending on where that happens, I think they're going to time it very, very close to the halving. Very close, maybe a little bit before if they get approved. Is it January 10th or 14th? January 10th is the other one, 14 days ago, I think. So it gets approved then, we go into the halving, bang, we are off to the races. That brings more people in. They will start being quiet there because it's Larry Fink. Larry Fink owns the world, basically. I don't think Gary, Congress, the SEC, the US government, the US Treasury is going to go against Larry Fink because he controls everyone and everything. So, US lawmakers urge Treasury to revise proposed crypto tax rules. Patrick McHenry and Congressman Richie Torres led a group of 9 lawmakers in an effort. Don't know anything about Richie Torres. From what I've seen from Patrick McHenry, very pro Bitcoin. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've seen I like, if I'm recalling correctly. A group of bipartisan US lawmakers have urged the Treasury to revise its proposed digital assets taxation regime. The group is backing crypto representatives and lawyers who have called the proposed taxation scheme dangerous and improper overreach. Drop us your questions. I will open those up in a second if you have any, or just say g'day in the chat. If finalised, the proposed regulations overly broad definition of a digital asset broker, insufficient definition of a digital asset, and unreasonably short comment period threaten to prevent a large swath of the digital asset ecosystem from continuing to exist in the United States. Obviously, we have seen that with Operation Choke Point. Just pushing it out, that agenda to, like, why? It does not make any sense to get rid of Bitcoin. Why would you do that as a country? Why would you push out the greatest revolution to ever happen in human history? So what is going on with this? More than this is a very big idea, talking about Cathie Wood at the start, you bet. So I'll bring everyone's comments up here. Ben Owen, morning, mate. G'day, brother. Austin, good night from Ireland. Awesome. What do you think of Guinness? I worked at an Irish pub when I was a little bit younger. I used to drink Guinness on St. Patrick's Day. Feels like a full meal, and haven't had it for years and years and years, but it's... Is it just like a stereotype thing? You come over here and then everyone, being so ignorant, then Aussies believe that every Irishman just drinks Guinness, or do they? Like, is it like sort of like that staple beer? Nick K, g'day from Adelaide. Finally caught you live. Nick K, g'day. Well done. You're up nice and early as well. Is Adelaide an hour ahead? I think they may be. Super cool to have you here. Global mega. I've not heard that word before. I'm going to write it down. Mega, moo. I can't even say that. If you can write it out phonetically for me, I'll have a look. I'm interested to see what that word means. Matara? Lucky Red Fish, good to see you. He's nuts. Andy Surfer, Raw Eggs, effing Chad, Rocky, Rocks. What a goat, hey, that guy. I think a little bit unhinged, but just in such a good way. He's like, this system absolutely sucks. Go out there and just make love with life. Go out and touch things, touch everyone, cough on me. Absolutely brilliant. I enjoyed what he had to say. I apologize, brother, if I butcher your name. Gail, let us know. The ignorance of me not even being Australian, I can't blame it on that. It's just ignorance of myself there. If you can let me know phonetically, brother, and I'll correct myself. Not proxy, it's more proxy wars. Bitcoin coming, going up or going down. G'day, brothers. So it is good to have everyone in the chat. Here in Denmark, they tax Bitcoin profits up to 52%. Therefore, you can now sell your sats for 18 to 26% on top. Let me unpack that. Here in Denmark, they tax Bitcoin profits up to 52%. Therefore, you can now sell your sats for 18 to 26% on top. Oh, so if you can sell them in the streets, you're only losing like 18 to 26%, but if you were to go through a regular exchange, KYC, you're paying 52%. Is that what you mean? Because in Australia, the way it works is Bitcoin's classed as property, as it should be. I'm all for regulation. They just need to regulate it correctly. Our tax rate's far too high, in my opinion, especially when you move up to the higher bracket tax rate, like 47%. But what happens is because it's property, they sort of treat it like a house. If you hold it for longer than a year, longer than 12 months, and you don't sell it, you don't trade, which in my opinion you shouldn't. If you were to sell it, you're only paying tax on 50% of the gains. So say you made $100,000 profit, you sell it, you're only paying tax on $50,000, say the 47% tax, my tax rate, which is incredibly steep. So let's just round that up to 50%. So make $100,000 profit. You're paying tax on 50% of that, which is $50,000. At a 50% tax rate, 47% tax rate, you end up paying $25,000 tax. It's not so bad. Like, it's a lot, but if you have a long-term mindset and you need that dirty fiat, it's okay. It's still too much. If you buy it and you hold it less than a year and you make $100,000, well, then you're paying $50,000 in tax or $47,000 in tax. So it's pretty steep. It's pretty full on, but at least it's very clear with it. We've got rules. You're allowed to self-custody with that. They're not as against it as what the states are, but it's pretty insane. Morden, the government tax our Bitcoin profits up to 52%, but if you deal with people on the street or online, we'll pay up to 26% more. So it is already worth a lot. Wow. So people aren't waking up to the fact that Bitcoin's incredible. There is no stopping it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure and no pressure. Just stacked stat. Wow, I am tongue-tied this morning, a little bit of pain. Just stack sats and chill. Hit subscribe if we do vibe. Be good to see you. Into the Forest. What a beautiful name. The greatest place. Yes, I was wrapping it up, but Into the Forest. What a name. My wife and our's greatest pleasure in life. The whole reason we went to the States was to look at the leaves falling. Crazy, but it's absolutely amazing. And nothing better. And for me to smoke endless amounts of cigars. Very enjoyable. I've brought that habit back with me. So, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. If you are in the States and you do partake, I'm not putting it on anyone. It's an addiction. Well, it's a habit. It's an addiction. It's a habit. It's not very good for you. If you do it, if you do enjoy a nice cigar, Blondie Acid by Drew Estate, absolutely fantastic. Very cheap, especially in the States. About 4 times the price here. I've just ordered some. Incredible. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on Twitter or the comment section. But you're welcome. It's definitely a treat. One of the nicest tasting things I've ever had in my life. Into the forest. So morning, guys. Another Aussie here. So cheers. Let's see what Bitcoin Australia AU does. We'll see. And into the forest. So we'll be at Bitcoin Alive next year. So if you're there as well, definitely say g'day. I think there's a code below. And anyone around the world, come to Australia. It's in Sydney. Go there, go to the conference, and then come up to the Great Barrier Reef, because when you're in Australia, you have to visit the Great Barrier Reef. Anyway, hit subscribe. Been an absolute pleasure. Be blessed. Peace. Have a very beautiful day, hey?